before we truly begin, I want to get one thing perfectly clear. I don't fucking care. Like, the whole angle, I don't care. I don't care about the race thing. I don't care about the black-white thing. It fucking bores me. We're people. It's people, right? You're a person. I'm a person. We begin as equals. We diverge from there as we choose. But I like to just kind of be a person. It fits me in all slots. I can identify with all people because I'm a person. You know what I mean? Like, I can, yeah, I can fit in any mold because I'm just a person. That's what I am. That's where I start. I'm a person. I don't get involved in the whole thing. I don't take sides. I have one side. My side. That's the only side I'm ever truly on. I may loan out my talents to other people's sides from time to time, but ultimately, I'm on my side. I don't like taking sides. I want to hang out with everybody. I like everybody equally, unless you prove yourself to be an asshole, and then I'll just think you're an asshole. But you know, I don't really care either. So I'm not trying to do this to just be like, man, I see people being lied to. You know what I mean? I see a delusion being created, right? And I don't feel that playing along with people's delusions, I don't feel it's helpful. Because sooner or later the truth comes out, and when that bubble bursts, it's twice as fucking hard because you've really invested yourself in it, and it becomes a thing where it's so disappointing that you just can't let it go. And that's why we're in the situation we're fucking in with so many issues facing us right now. Is because delusions were created and fed. And then people fed into it so much that now it's either I say I'm wrong and look like a complete idiot, or I keep on keeping on. It makes it very difficult to bring people around to logic when they're so entrenched in stupidity. But I see people being lied to, and I don't like that. So I'm calling it out. That's all it is. I don't care. It's their fucking narrative. And I have a problem with it because it divides people, and that's never good. So, this isn't a fucking racist thing. I could give a fuck less. There are facts in this world, and they need to be discussed when people are being lied to.
Black Panther coming out, this is like a dream come true for like little 5-year-old me. He's like inside of me going crazy.
Now I gotta admit, I'm right there with him. Maybe not 5 years old. I don't think I was in a Black Panther at 5 years old. But when I found out, when I was in my teens, I said they gotta make a fucking Infinity Gauntlet movie, man. That would be so goddamn cool to see in movies, right? And when I found out they were making Infinity War, I was like, and the first time I saw Thanos is probably my favorite Marvel character. First time I saw Thanos on the big screen, I was like, oh, this is fucking great! And he's purple. So there you go. But when I found out they were doing Black Panther, I was like, that's fucking cool. Because Marvel Universe is so huge, and I was into so many things when I was a kid. I was into so many things. I didn't specialize in any one thing. There were things within those groups that I really liked, like there were certain characters and certain things that I really liked, and you know, shit like that. But I kind of went around with everything. So I didn't really read a lot of Black Panther comics when I was a kid. I didn't. It was just like, I think I have a couple, but it was never, you know, he wasn't a character that interested me. Now, to give you a comparison, I didn't read a lot of Captain America. He was never really a character that interested me. He was the fucking Boy Scout. I didn't care about that. I was big into Spider-Man. I was big into Batman. I wasn't even really big into Superman. I was big into the X-Men and like X-Force and all that, all the X groups and shit like that. I was huge into that. That was really it. Like I wasn't big into the Flash. I could have given a fuck less about the Avengers. I didn't care about Thor. I didn't care about the Hulk. Honestly, I didn't really care about Wolverine too terribly much when he was on his own. I have a lot of Wolverine comics because he fought cool enemies. But I didn't really care for the character itself. You know what I mean? Like, he was cool with X-Men because it was cool to watch him interact with the X-Men. But I could have given a fuck less about Wolverine. For that matter, couldn't care about Cyclops. He was a piece of shit. Didn't like him. You know what I mean? So even within comics that I did read, there was characters I could have given a fuck less about. Loved Gambit. Nobody else liked Gambit for some reason. I thought he was fucking cool. Could have cared less for Rogue. Couldn't care less about his girlfriend. You know what I mean? So when they started getting them together, I was like, ugh. Man. So, you know, whatever. Like, that's kind of the way my comic book stuff went. But when I saw that they were going to make Black Panther movie, he was always a character I thought was cool. It wasn't like I didn't think Black Panther was cool. It wasn't like I didn't think Captain America or The Flash were cool. They just weren't characters that interest me. They didn't really draw my attention. They weren't Big Flash, you know? It's Black Panther. He beats people up. You watch anybody beat people up. You know, Captain America throws his shield around, and I guess that's cool, but it's weird. You know, it doesn't make sense. The fucking shield's always coming back to him. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Whatever. And that lost my fucking focus. I couldn't be fucked with that shit. I thought it was cool to watch mutants do mutant stuff. You know, like Spider-Man. Fucking, you know, that kind of shit was cool to me. And plus, Spider-Man really cool villains. But yeah. So when they were gonna make Black Panther, I was like, fucking sweet. I was always kind of into Black Panther as, you know, as something that was interesting enough to kind of go, he's cool. Like when he would show up and stuff, and I would be like, oh, Black Panther's here, that's neat. You know, but I didn't care about watching Black Panther do Black Panther stuff because it was like, he didn't really have cool enemies that I thought were worth watching him fight. So when they were going to make the movie, I was like, that's cool. I'll get to learn more about the character, and, you know, I'll get the movie perspective of the character, and that'll be fucking sweet. I'll have something. And, you know, so I was all into it. And now that it's becoming, like, a thing, I'm like, well, it's still cool that they made it, but why does it have to become a thing?
He's a legitimate black superhero.
Who's not a legitimate black superhero? Is Spawn not a legitimate black superhero because he wears a mask? Because he's all burnt? Does that make him illegitimate? Is Cloak not a legitimate superhero because he runs around with a white chick? Like, you know, she got a big ass, I'm just saying. Is Bishop not a legitimate superhero because he's in the X-Men? Because he was like leader of his group in his timeline. You know what I mean? Like, he led that fucking group. That was his group. Like, he led the X-Men of a shattered, or like a splinter reality fucking future. You know, like, he was the main dude. You know, like, is War Machine not a legitimate fucking superhero because he got his tech from Tony Stark? He still flies the fucking thing. Like, he was an Air Force pilot. Motherfucker. Like, there's a lot of legitimate fucking... Luke Cage got his own TV show. That's kind of cool. He's pretty legit. Like, he protects Harlem and shit. That's like his mission in life. He wants to help the black community. Is that what makes him not legitimate? Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I hope it smashes all records.
A lot of time when we have black characters, they're written by non-black people. It's rare that we get to be front and center and tell our own story.
Now, fine. The movie, written by a black person. Directed by a black person. A whole lot of black people in it. Awesome. But the character was created by a white man. His name was Stan Lee. And it was originally illustrated by a white man by the name of Jack Kirby. So, like, this movie may be written for black people, by black people, and all that and whatnot and so on. God, I hate that so much. Just, why can't it just be made for people? You know, like, why does it have to be a thing?
Hey guys, I'm Mike reporter Xavier Harding, and we're here at the Black Comic Book Festival in New York City.
Fucking racist.
The Black Panther in the history of comic books is one of the most important characters, one of the most powerful characters.
Now, one of the most important characters, I would say I would say that he would probably be like a C-list rank character. Like, he's big now because it's big now. You know what I mean? And he's got his own fucking movie. So, he's big now. Now he's A-list. Definitely up there. Definitely top tier. But, like, he never really sold big. And he never really did a whole lot. Like, he did a whole lot, but never really had an impact in other comic books. You know what I mean? Like, he was never an asterisk C Black Panther fucking issue 8. You know what I mean? Like, it was never fucking referenced in anything. Like, he was in a secluded country. He lived in a country that didn't like outsiders and didn't go out much. So, like, he did a lot of shit in Wakanda. He didn't really do a lot of shit anywhere else. He protected Wakanda. Like, if shit was going on in the world, Wakanda is part of the world, so he would fight to protect the world, but, like, he didn't fucking go out a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I think he was an Avenger at one point. And you know, that's what got him out saving the world and stuff, but every time he left the Avengers, he went back to fucking Wakanda. Like, it wasn't like he roamed the world fighting people. And powerful? Nah. He's beaten a lot of people. He's got good tech. I wouldn't say that Tony Stark is particularly powerful. The Iron Man suit is, right? Wouldn't really say that, I mean, Black Panther's got his mystic shit and whatnot. And I'm sure he's gone through some fucking power jumps in recent issues. I'm sure, like, Superman is apparently like super uber god now. Like, they go through these situations where they need to have an ex machina and they go, oh, you can do this now. And power runs mad. If you want to see fucking power running mad, look into fucking Doctor Strange. Look into that character. He's kind of like, he's become uber god so many times and just like goes, I don't want to do that anymore, and just doesn't, and then he winds up being uber god again. It's ridiculous. So I'm sure he's got some shit going on, right? But he's not a celestial. He's not even on Thor's level. Thor's a god, you know? He's really on, like, Captain America's level. And Captain America, not powerful when it comes down to it. Like, he's not as powerful as the Hulk. That's for sure. You know what I mean? And the Hulk used to be a normal guy. So, most powerful, he's got really good tech.
The leader of the most technologically advanced nation on Earth.
Which is fake. I want everybody to understand Wakanda doesn't actually exist. It's not a real country. And think about it. He's the ruler of the most technologically advanced country in Africa. That is a complete and utter reclusive country. They don't let in outsiders. And they don't leave a whole lot. They don't really do a whole lot of humanitarian aid to the other regions in Africa. I'm sure they do now. But I don't think that was ever really like a huge fight. I may be wrong. I didn't really like Black Panther. But I don't really buy that. I'm sure it happened. I'm sure that there were panels of Black Panther helping the sick and the poor. But his country could have alleviated poor from the fucking world. You know what I mean? Like, they're an extraordinarily technologically advanced fucking society. They could alleviate a lot of stress of the poor nations, especially of Africa. But they fucking don't. So let's not play around here and pretend like the Black Panther is the savior of the black nations of the world. He ain't that guy. Like, just saying.
Black Panther is a film for us, by us. We have a black director, black writers, and a mostly black cast.
Yeah, because it takes place in a reclusive country in Africa. that doesn't really let in a lot of outsiders. So you're probably going to have pretty much 99% black cast. Go figure.
What does it mean to have us at the front and at the center of these movies?
You know, it's not just what's happening right now, it's who's being influenced and what are they going to bring in 10, 20 years. What doors will this unlock in the imagination of 10-year-olds?
I will say that that is kind of fucking cool. I like people getting their imaginations fucking jarred. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty awesome. And I would love to see what happens with people and what they make in the future. I think it's going to be cool. And even if it has a racial angle to it, that can be done very well. There's a lot of cool movies that have racial angles where they don't beat you in the fucking face with it. And I hope they don't beat you in the fucking face with it in this goddamn movie. Because, oh, it would just ruin it. It would just fucking ruin it. But whatever. And I think that's cool. You know, this could create some fucking interesting shit for the future. And I think that's great. I will say, this lady's got her head screwed on straight. I love where she's coming from.
What does it mean to have like a non-white guy?
Non-white guy being the main character,
dude, the main person.
I think it's beautiful, and I think it's sadly something that's long overdue.
Man, there were like 4 Blade movies. I know there were at least 3. I own the fucking trilogy. So, long overdue. Spawn had a movie. First X-Men movie had Storm in it. War Machine. Like, Iron Man wasn't Iron Man the first movie that kicked the whole fucking thing off? War Machine. I just, fucking, whatever. He's young. He doesn't know that there's been other black superhero movies with black leads. God damn it.
Studying the earliest African-American superheroes, it's the oldest stereotypes about black men, that black men are inherently weaponized, that they are inherently dangerous.
Dude, Blade had to become Daywalker to fucking become dangerous. Like, well, I mean, it happened when he was born, but whatever, you know, like, that was the inherently dangerous part of him. He was kind of a pacifist. He really liked fighting. He did things to suppress his violent... Dude, every time Luke Cage is in a scene in either his own show or in the fucking, what was it even called? The Defenders or whatever the fuck it was. He was always, why do we have to fight him? Why do we have to fight him? Why do we have to fight him? Storm, I believe, was another ruler of an African nation. And, she didn't like to fight. Most of the heroes in most of the comics, they don't really like to fight. They do it because they have to, because the fucking opposition gives them no choice. It's not generally something they fucking go after. Spawn had to die and come back from hell to become violent. He was a police officer. This dude needs to read more fucking comics.
And so what you see in comic books in the earliest black male superheroes are devices that undermine their superheroic potential. Luke Cage, for example, is bound to Harlem.
Luke Cage is not mystically bound to Harlem. He has taken it on himself to be the protector of that region of the world. Kind of like Black Panther does with Wakanda. Taking it on himself to be the protector of that region of the world. Now, if something threatens the world, Luke Cage will come out and fight it, because Harlem is in the fucking world. But he is not mystically bound to Harlem. He can move, he can leave Harlem. He goes and helps people in other places all the time. Soho's always got people fucking it up. He goes there from time to time. Hell's Kitchen, another place he kind of tends to frequent. He goes where the bad guys are, in and around Harlem.
Black Lightning lives in Suicide Slum.
I know fuck all about Black Lightning, but I imagine he's very much like Luke Cage.
The Falcon has an identity complex.
Why does the Falcon have an identity complex? because he's an Avenger? Because he hangs out with Cap? You know, he became Captain America for a short period of time. Just saying.
And so I'm excited about the Black Panther. I'm excited about some of these new black characters in comic books. But we can't have this be just a symbolic kind of gesture.
It's not a gesture, dude. It's a movie. They made the movie because the character fit. Like, the character fit the storyline. The storyline they were writing, character fit the storyline. Right? Pretty much because he lives in a reclusive country in Africa that doesn't allow a lot of people in, doesn't fucking come out frequently. So, when you want to hide something, or somebody, this isn't a gesture. It fits. God damn it. Why does it have to be a thing?
So what's inspiring to you about Black Panther?
It's important because now I know, like, what his father left behind for him. He was able to bring that back up, and, like, that's something I want to do for myself.
How so?
Well, I idolize my father because he's a great man, so I want to be like him when I'm older.
That's awesome. I mean, it didn't have anything to do with being black. Kid idolizes his father, wants to be like him when he grew up. That's amazing. That's awesome. I love that. That's a good message. This video's a roller coaster ride, man. I see it being turned into a thing, and there's no reason to turn it into a thing because it's not a fucking thing. This guy isn't. Why do you have to put your fucking identity? Like, why do you have to put it into all this shit? And then when people find out, it's fucking made by a white man, fucking Stan Lee, then it sours it that much fucking more. And that's how you radicalize fucking people. You build some shit up, and you tell them a whole bunch of lies, and you make it where it's this fucking thing, and then sooner or later the bubble fucking bursts. And it's just, you're being fucking lied to. It's just a movie.
What are your white friends saying about Black Panther?
My white friends usually don't even talk about Black Panther.
Now I'm going to go out on a limb here. Right? I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to say that his white friends are most certainly talking about Black Panther. They probably just don't talk about it with him. Because they probably have parents who are going to be like, dude, you probably don't want to talk about that. You just don't want to get involved in the race conversation. Just don't talk about Black Panther with black people because just... Or the kids themselves are kind of like, I don't want to get into a race discussion, man. It's just... But I'm sure they're talking about Black Panther. It's a Marvel movie. It's a comic book superhero movie. And it's the next part in the fucking series that's leading up to the huge fucking 2-part Avengers that's coming out. They're talking about it. They're just not talking about it with you because they don't want to get into the race thing. Like, it's become a thing. So, you know, now it's a thing. But the reason why I made this video at all, the thing that even... I saw this, I was thinking about talking about it, because I'm like, this is bullshit. But when I was watching videos last night, and I watched the commercials. I get a lot of content out of watching the commercials, because some of the commercials are ridiculous. But I was watching, and I saw this commercial, and I was just like... So, here we go.
Vibranium secured.
Well done, my king.
Shuri is my rival.
Of course, big brother. But you have to hurry.
Like, isn't this selling out? Like, isn't this selling out on, like, a global scale? Come on.
Show off.
Step into the spotlight. Experience luxury performance that takes the crown. Presenting the all-new Lexus LS 500. Long live the king.
That takes the crown. Long live the king. Dude, because you know what I see all the time? Black people driving Lexuses. It's all I ever see. Every time I see a Lexus, I go, man, I never see a white person driving a Lexus. Just never happens. People are wrapping their groupthink identity culture fucking shit into this character, and he's selling Lexuses. Long live the king, dude. He's this king of a fucking fake African country, and people are talking like he's... Dude, long live the king. Like, I'm scared for people. It's a delusion. And you wrap yourself up into it. And then some people will see that, and that will burst their bubble. And they'll be like, motherfuck. Like, my hero is fucking selling Lexus. I don't know. Maybe I think differently than people nowadays. Maybe they see, you know, maybe people see that and they go, that's super cool. Black Panther's selling Lexus. But I see that and I go, so people are choosing to be a representative of their, you know, identity. And when it dawns on them that he's the king of a reclusive country that could end poverty in Africa, but they don't. I don't know. You know, whatever. We all have our sacred cows, and we're all going to dig in our heels on something. So I guess a comic book character... At least there's the argument where you can look at it and go, you know, it's all fake, right? It's a comic book, like it's a movie. It's a fake African nation. None of it's even real. Like, he's so far outside of the real. I mean, Spider-Man hangs out in Soho. Soho actually exists. Daredevil, and that's Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen actually exists. It's not like they're in Metropolis. This isn't DC. This is Marvel. Marvel takes place on the actual fucking world. And they created an entirely fake country in Africa and, like, hid it. And this is the dude that people are like, oh yeah, he totally represents everything that's great about being black. Like, when you really think about it, he's not really a great person. I'm sure he's got his reasons, and I'm sure his reasons are very valid. But most likely because it's a fake country, it doesn't actually exist. And you'd have to change the entirety of the structure of the world if you said, okay, well, Wakanda shares their technology with the world. We'd have flying cars and shit. No, you can't do that. So, gotta make him a dick. But sooner or later, somebody's going to be smart enough to ask those questions to themselves, and it's going to ruin the fucking, the myth. So, yeah. I don't know. I see people being lied to, and it makes me sad. And I think you should look within. You know, if you want to be the best black person you should be the best black person that you should be, that you think is the best black person that you should be. You shouldn't live up to a comic book character, because it's a comic book character. Don't wrap your identity in anything but you. You are the most important part of your identity. The fact that you are you. That's it. That's really all it is, man. Don't buy the hype. Folks, we're all in this together. To quote Maynard again. Like, it's just be a person. If more people were just people, we wouldn't have 90% of the problems we have going on right now. We would just be people. Novel idea. We should all try it for a day. See how it goes. But, whatever. I don't know. It's just, it annoys me. It annoys me that I see this shit going on and I play out the fucking scenarios in my mind and I go, this is all horseshit. Your building is on lies. Don't wrap your identity in comic book characters. It's just a fucking movie. This used to be me. A sad, sad puppy. No food in the fridge, holes in my pillowcase, and all out of... Recently, things have been going great. You all have helped me out a lot. Now I have a fridge full of takeout, new pillowcases, and let's be honest, I'm never out of... But the reason that things have changed around for me like that is because I've had a lot of pressure taken off of me for buying stuff for making videos for you guys. You guys helped me buy a new capture box when my old one broke. You helped me buy a new PC when the other one turned into poop. And you helped me get to Perfect Circle concerts so that I could share that experiences with you guys. Recently I've kind of had to change the way I do things, but I found another way. You can find me on Maker's Support. I have a link in the description, and if you'd like to donate money to keep this sort of thing going, then that's where you can do it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. I hope you have fun.